Well, it's time again for another edition of the Autocar India podcast. After the experiments of Skype and going outdoors for the last couple of times, I'm back where I should be, I think, back in Hormazd's office. And after a long time, Hormazd, getting some time to chat with you now.
Yeah, I know it's been ages. We've had a lot happening since we last spoke. Autocar Performance Show, Indian Grand Prix. So much to do. Really been more out of the office than in this chair, which is good.
I know, and in the midst of all this, you've also been doing a series for Bloomberg TV India called CEO on the Drive, where you've been talking to pretty much every major auto industry CEO. What's the sentiment you're getting from them, especially now because we're heading into festival season, and this is traditionally a good time for the car companies and for buyers, right?
I mean, that really was a fantastic series because we were talking to all the CEOs. We did 8 companies for that series, and I think one common theme or an overriding theme really was, a lack of confidence in the market. Of course, you had companies like Ford and Honda, which really have some, big hits. But really, everyone was hoping for Diwali lights at the end of the tunnel, but it seems to be more of a flicker than serious fireworks. So really, I think it's a bit of a worry that the market really has been on its knees for a long time and isn't showing really great signs of recovery.
Now, this podcast is going to go up just after Diwali, and oddly enough, we're talking about Diwali being the time for a lot of cheer traditionally in the market. And so, as you can see off the cover, we're talking about the new cars for 2014. That's also my theme for the podcast today. And we've got a lot of cars to cover this time, Hormazd. I'm going to start with a couple of manufacturers first and work our way down. Obviously, the thing that jumped out to me from this page was Honda. They've got a lot of cars coming in through next year. There's a new City, there's a new Accord, there's a new Jazz even. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect from Honda.
Absolutely. I think 2014 is going to be Honda's year. I think that's quite clear. They've got the new City, which they're going to show this year and start sales early in 2014. There's a new Jazz coming, and there's even the Mobilio MPV. So really 3 really hot products over there. Plus there'll be the usual refreshes of existing models. I think Bio might get some tweaks as well. So really a lot happening. Honda doing well, and even don't forget the Amaze, which also is really, the kind of springboard for Honda to get back into the game. So really they've got a core of some really exciting products, and they're going to be the ones to watch out for.
And at the core of all that, of course, is the Amaze came in with the diesel engine. We know the diesel engine is now going to come into the City as well, but is it going to be across the products? So we'll see it in the Jazz and maybe even the Brio perhaps?
Absolutely. I think we're going to see this engine. This is the 1.5 is really the base unit, which is going to power all their models. Maybe not the Brio, because at that end of the market, it's very difficult to make the economics work. So I think the Brio the diesel Brio might come a lot later once they've got the economies of scale. They can really drive the cost down of the diesel engine. So all others, but except Brio, I think you can expect the diesel.
And also just one final word on Honda, a product that I was kind of excited about, which we now know perhaps will not make it in 2014, was the compact SUV. Is that on hold till 2015? Can we confirm that?
Yeah, I think it wasn't planned for 2014. There's only so much you can do. Clearly that one is going to be coming in 2015. But again, that will be powered by the 1.5 diesel, which powers the Amaze, maybe with more power. But that's a 2015 launch.
And talking about the Amaze, that's a big hit obviously in 2013. Another car that's been a blockbuster hit for the last couple of months for Hyundai has been the Grand i10. Now we know, again, we've talked about it in the issue, there's going to be a compact sedan coming in perhaps on that Grand i10 platform. But any other variants, is there going to be perhaps an automatic variant in the diesel?
Well, I think there's going to be no automatic variant in the diesel, clearly, because really there's no transmission that's suitable for this 1.1 engine. Not only that, it just doesn't make sense to make an auto diesel at the lower end of the market, because the costs are so high, it kind of automatically prices the Grand i10 into class or 2 above. And at that point, the consumer would rather have a manual version of a bigger car. If you see even in the market, it's only the Verna which has a diesel or automatic, and really nothing below that. So really highly unlikely that the Grand i10 is going to get a diesel.
But an Amaze competitor is definitely on the cards.
Definitely. I think what is happening is that you are going to see a 3-box or a saloon version of the Grand i10. Again, it will be powered by the 3-cylinder diesel engine and let's say and the Kappa petrol engine, and that's going to be very competitively priced as well.
And also coming in from Hyundai is going to be a facelifted Elantra and of course the Santa Fe, and that's a car that we're all excited about, an SUV rather that we're all excited about.
That's right. I think the Santa Fe is something I'm personally looking forward to. We drove it a lot across Australia, so spent a lot of time in that car, a good 10 days in that car. So, really, I know that car quite well, and I think if it's going to be competitively priced, that definitely is going to be a big hit.
And we're segueing nicely now. Honda, Hyundai, up into Maruti Suzuki. What are their plans for the next year? We've seen some talk of a new SX4 coming in. There's also perhaps a new A-Star. What's Maruti Suzuki going to be doing?
Well, I think it's going to be a very crucial year for Maruti. They've had no launches this year. So next year they're going to have some key launches. They're going to have, let's say, a compact hatchback, which is the answer, Maruti's answer to the Grand i10, and that in one shot is going to replace the A-Star and the Estilo. Estilo is already gone. A-Star will be replaced by this. So really it's going to be a car that is quite versatile in many ways. It'll have the space, it'll have the performance. It's coming really with a K10 engine, and what I understand with a tweaked K10 engine, which will give a lot better fuel efficiency. This really is the big surprise of the new Maruti hatchback, which is codenamed YL7 right now. Then you've got the YL1, which is the new SX4. That again will be powered by the Fiat diesel 90 bhp engine, and that again looks it looks really good. They've done a good job over there. So really Maruti upping their game quite a bit, and I think honestly in 2014 this could be a very good year for Maruti.
Again with Maruti there's been some talk of perhaps compact SUV. They showed that XA Alpha concept at Auto Expo 2 years ago, and typically it takes them 2 years to come out with a product. Anything you've heard about that?
Well, I think with Maruti, the SUV is going to be big in their plans, and clearly it's not just one SUV but 2 SUVs that they're looking at. They're going to be one slightly high-end SUV which will be sold in Europe, and then there will be a compact SUV which is designed specifically for the Indian market. So Maruti also betting big on SUVs in the future, and I think we can see this roll out 2015-2016.
Just another quick word on another segment in the market perhaps, but MPVs. We've seen Maruti's done really well with the Ertiga, but next year we're going to have the Datsun Go Plus, the Honda Mobilio. Do you really think in the consumer end of that segment there is a space for these MPVs to come in and find a foothold?
There is space. I mean, quite frankly, this segment initially took off, then it kind of tanked because the aspiration is not there in the segment. It's more about utility, practicality. So let's say the demand or appeal for that is a bit limited, because clearly it's not like an SUV where you get both. You get the emotional side, the aspiration, as well as the practicality. So really I think with the SUVs coming in, I think the MPVs are going to have a tougher time, but definitely they do serve a purpose, they do have a niche, and that's what these new offerings are planning to fill.
And just reading through this article and your editor's notes at the start of the magazine as well, you talked about the fact that perhaps there's a lot more facelifts we're seeing rather than just all-out new cars. Is this something that's a one-off for this year, or do you see this kind of trending now as, I guess, the number of new cars in the market increases, and after that it's just a case of facelifting them as you go along? I
think it's a couple of things. One is, it's a cyclical business, so clearly this is 1 year, whereas as it coincidentally happens, there are no all new models coming at all. I also think that model life cycles are slightly getting extended at one level. So while you might have one platform which is really can last about 8 to 10 years, you'll have more kind of refreshes on top of that. So I think really it's a combination of all these things, but I think also people are perhaps going a little easy on let's say the investment in India, and clearly 2 companies which have kind of taken their foot off the gas are Volkswagen and Toyota, ironically the 2 largest companies in the world. So they've taken their foot off the gas, and clearly models which you expected from them are going to take a little longer.
And just moving into the luxury end of things, we've had the 3 big German manufacturers, but really this year perhaps has been the year for Mercedes-Benz. They've had great success with these 2 models, the B-Class and the A-Class. And next year, okay, it's not going to do great numbers, but we have the all-new S-Class coming in, and of course the CLA, the GLA. Lots to expect from Mercedes?
Absolutely. I think Mercedes is on a roll. They're going to be fighting hard, fighting back, and I think clearly, this is going to be, their year in a way, 2014. So I think out of all the big three, it's going to be Mercedes, which is really going to be the one to watch out for.
Anything particular that you're looking forward to next year, Hormazd? A car that you think is going to come in and perhaps you're just interested in driving?
Well, I think, next year there's nothing really exceptional that's coming, but I'm quite looking forward to the Honda Jazz. I've always liked that car. Great packaging. It was such a brilliant car. Even the first one which was launched just got killed because of some conky pricing and the fact that consumers didn't kind of, warm to the fact of paying saloon car money for a hatchback. So, but I think the new Jazz has got a lot of promise, and I think it's just going to tick all the right boxes. I think that's the one I'm looking forward to.
Okay, I'm going to end it there on that note so that we can wrap up and let you get back to work. So, if you want to know more about the new cars that are coming in for 2014, it's all in the November issue of Autocar India magazine. I'm going to pick this up now. Here we go. And also keep heading over to autocarindia.com where you'll see news and updates on any new car that is going to come to India, that may come to India, that's likely to come to India. You'll find basically all the news right there on the website. Watch out for another episode of the podcast. For now, I'm signing off. Thank you so much, Hormazd.
Thanks, Sandeep.